Are you a builder, renovator, investor? What do you do? What are your projects?
I wish someone would tell me. Yes, I don't know.
You're all 3?
I'm trying to figure it out. I think I'm one of the like Vietnam, World War II or whatever, but less, dramatic. I'm figuring my way out in the world after all that stuff. I actually, during Eastwood or those other properties, I tried to do a BRRRR, which is a buy, rehab, rent,
The
refinance, repeat, a exceptional way to build wealth. And my first attempt at it was a failure, but I don't consider it a failure because I believe that you learn lessons from failures and I didn't lose money from it. Kyle actually was the one that sent it to me. And Kyle told me, hey man, he called me at 8 a.m. on this one day. I remember it vividly. He called me, he's 8 a.m. Hey man, are you buying houses right now? I was like, I could. Let's do it. And he's like, "Hey, I looked at too many houses. I found this house. It's Jeffrey Drive. And I was going to buy it, but it's going to be this one. I talked to the wholesaler. I think this price wins it. I think he told me it was 165. It was a 3-bed, 1 bath in a good school district, good yard on a hillside. So the yard, no garage. And I think this is the winning bid. And I was like, it actually is a good story. And I was like, okay.
Yeah, I
I was
love that
like,
story.
okay, so I can contact the wholesaler. What's the bid due? Bids due. And these bids are due at 12. Okay. All right, cool. So I'm like, give me the info. So he texts me the info. This is 9 a.m. of the same day. And I hit up the wholesaler. I try to build that rapport. I talk to him. I'm like, hey, man, okay, this is what I'm trying to do. That's with Kyle. We work together, everything else. And he's okay, cool. And so 162. Now I remember in my head, I remember the number is 162. I was like, all right, cool. I'll do bid for
And they
162.
were asking 160, I think, right?
It-
Something
I
like
think it was
that.
a little less than that, but we
Maybe.
knew
We knew
162
162 would win it.
was
That's what we knew.
winning, right? So I'm like, all right, cool. I'll do 162. So the dude calls me back at 12:07, like right after. He's like, oh, cool. You won the bid. How do you want to pay it? Like, he does all that. I was like, yeah, man, we'll close. We'll close it all the real time. Everything will be good. Like, I just check the blocks, say what I need to say, and get off. I was like, all right, now I need to find 162,000.
I was wondering why guy was laughing so hard.
Yeah, yeah. I was
Well, I
like,
didn't know I was gonna pay. I don't know. I just
neither
rolled
did
it.
I. Yeah. So I'm like, okay, cool. And like up until this point, like I've listened to Bigger Pockets podcast religiously every day. And to this day, to now, I do every day. There's not one day that I miss. And I listen. And before that house, I'd be out there cleaning the pool of this house or working on this house. I listen to that podcast. That is the wealth maker. That podcast, I can't tell you how many hours I've listened to, but I promise you, 40 years from now, it's all worth it. So I get that he's okay, cool, you won. And I was like, oh man, cool, I won. Okay, cool. It sounds good. Bye. Okay, now I need to figure out how to pay for this thing. And no bullshit. I never dealt with hard money. I heard about it, talked about it, whatever. I'm like, I gotta figure this out. I gotta buy this house. I gotta figure it out. So in an hour, I found someone to finance me. And I got the hard money. And I'm like, okay, cool. We got the terms. And I was like, this is it? I did it. And then we went on a vacation. We were literally in Destin, Florida, on the beach, at our the on the water. And they sent a mobile notary. And I closed on this house.
No joke.
I swear to God. She brought the paperwork. We're sitting by the pool, by the beach, and I'm signing this paperwork. And I literally, I told Amanda, I looked at her and I'm here and I'm like, this isn't real life.
Telling you.
This is like what everyone's talking about in podcasts, talk about YouTube videos and everything. Like, this isn't real life. And I was buying a house in Tennessee on the beaches of Florida
Wow.
with no money. But here's the best part. So I needed 29,000 down. I didn't have the 29,000. I had a friend. And in real estate, they talk about using OPM. OPM is other people's money. So I have a really good friend, and all of our friends, we all help each other. Hey man, you need something? I got it. I literally have friends that if I need 20 grand, I have a few that would just hand it to me. And I've never had to do that before, but I told them, I was like, when this happened, they need 29,000 down. And I was like, they didn't have it. So I got the hard money. And then I told my buddy, I was like, hey, that SIG that I have that you want? He's like, yeah, man, I'll fucking take it right now. I was like, how about this? If you wire this company or company, business, whatever, you wire them 29,000, let me borrow it for 3 months. I'll give you the gun.
Dang, so dude, that's a crazy story, man.
And he
So
wired
who said that?
it in 3 months. And I was true to my word. I flipped that house, start to finish, and bought to sold within 90 days. And he got his money back.
Then he gave him the gun.
I gave him the gun. It took a little bit because he didn't come get it. And then like we were borrowing money, but essentially, yes, he got it. He got the gun.
You
So
gave him the
you
gun, even
got
though
this house. I didn't know that story, and so
I don't know.
I remember me calling you because I remember where I was when I called you. I was at the gym. I was about to walk in the gym.
Yeah.
It was like it was early, or not early. It was 8:00. I go to the gym at 8:00, not early.
It's not early.
Well, I was there.
There's people
We're trying to
calling
make
people
yourself
with deals to sell at
Well,
8 o'clock.
I called you at 8:00 for the deal sale, and you
Well, you
bought
weren't
that
working out
thing,
if you talk about deals.
but you bought it with essentially you
no
didn't
money
have
out of pocket.
you bought it with none of your own money,
Just a gun.
right?
Just a
And you
gun.
gave away a gun. What about the rehab? Did so the hard money, they covered the rehab too?
Yeah.
So the rehab was one of those, what I call it is Murphy's Law. So anything that can go wrong will go wrong. So lift up we thought it was going to be a lipstick. You and I thought, both of us, I walked through it. I thought it was a lipstick. We lift up the floor. The subfloor's sagging a little bit. So we're like, what's going on there? Lift up the subfloor, floor joist snapped, cracked, whatever. So we end up ripping up subfloor, replacing floor joist, replacing subfloor, replacing floor. And we do all that. The cabinets, by the time we found water damage, we had to replace the floor under the lower cabinets. We ended up replacing lower cabinets. And by the time you replace lower cabinets, you're like, now the upper cabinets look like crap. So let's just do it all. So at that point, this is the thing I love most about real estate. Well, I tell everyone about real estate, you can make mistakes and still make money. I bought Jeffrey Drive in the vision of doing a burr where I could buy it for 10,000 and lipstick it, rent it out forever, repeat. It failed. I failed. The best part about that is I renovated it and then I churched it up even more. I put new cabinets. I renovated the kitchen. I
You
took out a
guys
wall.
made it awesome.
I put a beam in. I did all this other stuff.
Yeah.
And then at that point, I had too much money sunk into it, and I flipped it. I sold it. That
How
was
much
my-
how much you make on it? Tell us.
I think 30.
Dude, that's legit. Especially from a wholesaler, that is a win every day of the week.
And in my mind, if I made $1, it was a win. But that was my first flip house,
No, and you learned a ton too.
and I learned it an absolute ton. I had to replace electric electrical panel, everything. I learned so much, but the best part was my first flip house was born out of a failure.
Yeah, because it wasn't the idea. So you didn't get what you wanted to get out of it. It was a burr. You were gonna
Yeah.
keep it.
Yeah.
I've had like 10 of those. I think I'm gonna keep this house. I can't because like numbers don't work.
But that's best part about it is
Yeah.
because you
Until you got to pay
learn.
taxes.
Well, but guess what? If you're paying taxes, that means you're making money.
Yeah, that's what they say.
Worst, best thing I've ever heard about paying taxes.
I learned that it bit me in the ass because I had enough rental properties last year. I've never had a problem buying rental properties. Always had W-2 income, right? It kept going. So all my stuff offset. But then I lost my W-2 income from the Army. And now all of a sudden my rental properties are showing losses, depreciation and everything else. So,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
So now I don't qualify for property because I haven't been paying Uncle Sam. So that's the balance. And when you have a W-2 income, that's what a lot of people don't realize. Like when you have a W-2 income, it's okay because you can offset the losses. You have the W-2 to cover down. But if you're not offsetting the losses and you don't have W-2s, you have to pay Uncle Sam to show banks you're bankable to buy more rental property. It's a very fine line.
Let me tell you the best quote that one of my dad's buddies ever told him, and which is true. He said his goal in life was to pay over $1 million in tax every year, which he does.
Wow.
That is a good goal. Oh,
It means he's making at the least, which is very low, 4 million a year.
at the least.
At the
But
least.
he's a very smart man. So
He is. And I've realized like very libertarian in the sense, but I don't believe in the whole tax system and everything the way it does. Like we pay taxes on our income, we pay property taxes on the house we purchase, we pay taxes on all on the material we use to renovate it. We
you
pay
paid a lot of taxes on that gun that you bought if you actually bought it, or if it was from the Army.
You're completely right. I pay taxes on that, right? So there's just so many overlying layers of taxes. What are they doing with it? They're not managing it properly. And that's why I think the wealth hack is finding a way to, you're honest, if you can steer your ship, if you can guide your family without government interference, if you can find financial freedom, no dependency, like all of us, the three of us, we're going to work. Whether we need the money or not, we need to stay busy.
Yep.
But being able to provide for the family and not sit there and stress about whether or not they're going to eat tomorrow and whether they can live, if we have that under wraps, we can change the world.
Yeah.
At least our world.
Yeah.
All that matters.
It is.
If I
So-
if I can affect a bigger world, I would. But right now, I'll work on this one.
So I want to get into the deep. I want to get into the meat and potatoes, or whatever you want to call it. I want to know, because I don't know at this point. What does your shirt say to be? Is that
No.
your company?
It is. Let's see here. I'll say it.
Premier Property. So you renovate.
Yes. How that came about. Well, I was still in the Army last year. Everything else, I was trying to hire people. I'm trying to learn how to fly helicopters. I'm trying to do property management. I manage all my own properties.
How many hours are you sleeping tonight?
Huh?
How many hours were you sleeping tonight?
I don't know. I still do it. And
Probably
honestly,
less than 8.
huh?
Probably less than 8. Did you get 8?
Yeah, I sleep optimally on 6.
Okay.
I function very well on 6. If I sleep more than that, I sleep 10. If I sleep less than that, I'm functional. I can do whatever I need to. I set up all my own Airbnbs. I used to run them all. Since then, I've taught my wife how to do it, and she's crushing it. She took on that, which is like huge for her. And she's a travel nurse herself. So we started pivoting things and going towards midterm tools, which is a pro term. Anything 30 days, over 30 days to 90 days, or, less than a year, midterm. So we started advertising some of our properties towards that, and it's worked out real well because then, we advertise towards them because we feel them. We know what they're looking for. We know everything.
Because I remember you said one of your first houses you had, the one that you built the basement out, or the garage out, excuse me. I guess you had, what, 2 travel nurses upstairs, you said?
At one time, yeah.
Yeah. So, since you left the Army a year ago, where is most of your revenue coming from? Where'd you Okay, let me ask you this. Let me back up. You do renovations. Where'd you get your team from? You have 1 team, 2 teams? How many jobs can you take on at a time? And you don't have to dispute all if you don't want to.
That's fine. So at the time, all of these Airbnbs and all these other things were going on. That's when I was still hiring contractors and getting screwed over in the mid. And that's what started this. And then finally, I'm just like, I started getting out of the Army, and I had a CSP program where you have an internship, and I was
Say that
flying.
you had a what program?
CSP. It's
What's
a
that stand for?
band
What?
sponsorship program. Basically, while I was getting out of the Army, while I was retiring, they had this program where I did a CSP for flying airplanes. I went and I was flying airplanes, but I had a lot of spare time. And that's when I started building business, the renovation business. And I found a few key footholds, like one guy that has had 30 years of experience in construction. And literally, this guy has a heart of gold, and he is just loyal as you can be. But he just literally, it hurts my heart to say it, but he's Murphy's Law. He's just got the worst luck I've ever seen. And I'm just like, okay, this guy's amazing. Like, how can I help him? And I don't know. So that started it. And then,
So he was a good contractor on his own, but you're the face and the personality of the business.
yeah, potentially. Yeah. I still don't know how it works, but I just like, it's him. And then there's a few other guys we have, and I have other guys that like are guys getting out of the Army that I put on my CSP program that is the last 6 months in the Army. And I basically show them how to run a business. I show them how to bid jobs. I do whatever I can. They don't have to work in the Army for those 6 months. They work for me. And I'm not allowed to pay them, but they get paid. And we figured that out. And I just do whatever I need to show them, whether it's credit building or flipping houses, whatever it is, whatever they want to learn. I'm just like, let's do it.
All right. This is the main thing. This is what our podcast is about, right, Kyle? It's about the people who chose not to do the 9 to 5 Army, Navy, sticking it for life, switch over.
Yeah, and that's the whole cool thing, right? Andrew already said he's a pilot, right? In the
I know
Army.
that's what I'm amazed at because
Yeah, he
my
could have got out and been a pilot.
yeah, you could
Successful
have thought
career, making
like
lots of money.
UPS or FedEx or maybe even went to like
Yeah, actually,
United.
FedEx is hiring for 300,000 a year.
That's what I was gonna say because
Whoa.
No,
Bro.
no,
Yeah.
seriously, Kyle, this is real.
You ain't gonna do that, man.
No, my processor, Connie, her daughter's husband was a pilot, and he now flies for FedEx, and they're doing
300?
I don't know what the guy makes, but he makes at least $250,000 a year.
Shoot. Yeah. That'd be tough to pass up. But the
But
thing that you gotta think of, if you take a
yeah,
job
he's
like
away from his
that,
family all
you're
the time.
missing you're on their schedule.
Correct.
That's the thing.
He's away from his family
That's
all the
what
time.
you're sacrificing, your time.
So that's what our whole podcast is about, right? Not sacrificing your time, right?
Yeah, exactly. But that I'm just saying, that'd be hard to pass up. Hard to pass up. So Andrew's doing it. Andrew's doing it.
With you, man. And I would be lying to you if I said it didn't cross my mind twice a week or whatever. But you could cast this all aside and go get that easy paycheck. Not easy. Flying airplanes, flying helicopters, not easy.
And you get to
A
see
lot
the
of work
world.
to do it. Huh?
And you get to see the world, which is pretty dang cool.
Yeah, but you miss a lot of time with your family.
That's
That's
the
it.
thing, right?
That is what did it for me. And I'll tell you, I was in the army. These guys that had girls and boys and kids in mind this whole time, and I never realized what it was like to be away from them because I didn't have kids. I had a dog, and my dog's an emotional wreck, and I understand why now. It's just like when that baby came out, she was born, and I think 8 days later, I retired. And I don't regret it. When that baby came out, like, I don't want to be away from her for one day. And I don't know. The other guys, maybe they're stronger than I am, but there's nothing in the world that is more important than me being next to that baby every day. And sometimes I feel guilty because it's not enough hours in the day, but I'm trying to build something for her kids.
Yeah, no, I know one of my really good friends I know here, and other guys too. Like they have to go on deployment randomly for 3, 6 months. Christmas is gone, Thanksgiving's gone. They're sometimes here for the birth, barely miss it or barely make it. It's just crazy, and I'm like, I couldn't do it. Way more of a man than I am. There's no way I could just be overseas protecting our country while that's happening and just be okay. Like I would just be like, "Yo, send me back home. I'm not okay. I don't care what it is. Take me back." There's no way I could do it. I'd be freaking out.
No, I absolutely, completely agree. And I can't speak on y'all's level. I've never served this country, but and I will always and have always completely respected the men and women who do, because that is honestly, truly, as they say, the ultimate sacrifice. There's no way, because I know people who have not been there for the birth of their kids, and that is insane to me for what they do for this country. And it is just a shame. And I told you I wouldn't get political on this podcast, but it is absolute shame for anyone who disrespects any military or anyone who's in uniform. But anyways, Andrew, I completely agree, man. It took me a little bit longer because I was trying to hit 5 years with my company, but yeah, man, once my second child came out and then my third, I had to get out. I work from home. I'm in mortgages. So I work from home. And even Kyle, we talked today at what, 11:30, 1:30, something like that. And I was on the phone with Kyle, and both my kids were like, "Oh, is that Kyle?" And then they talked to Kyle on the phone at, I don't know what time it was, 1:30 or 11:30, one of them. But that's what I do. I stay home all day with my kids, and I work every now and then. But it's
Well, I'll
not,
tell you, man,
yeah, it's nice.
so one of our buddies, Parker, offered me a job at his mortgage company, and I took the MLO course, and I was doing all that, and then I met Ron, and I know we were doing the flip houses and everything, and I saw the MLO stuff, and I think it's wonderful, and I think someone that gives a shit about what they do, you do, and reads the black and white, can live in between the black and white, and instead of giving someone a no, tell them why, or tell them how to live outside of it, or do all that. I think that is key and pivotal into successful real estate investing, but more than just people getting the house they want and not getting blackballed. And I think when I met Ron, I turned away from the MLO stuff, and maybe I'll one day, but I think if I can make this renovation company or any of these, like you throw enough stuff at the wall, something's going to stick. But I think mortgage loans and everything, I think you guys, you're on the pulse. If you're ever real estate investor, you need 4 people. You need a contractor, you need a good realtor, you need a good mortgage loan originator. There's a 4th.
Title company.
Oh, property manager.
Oh, property
there
manager.
you go. Yeah.
That's the 4th.
Oh, when you get big.
That's 4 keys to success.
Or get success. And I think another key is because it's easy to try to put all those hats on at one time.
Which
You can get carried away doing that. Sometimes you got to delegate that and be willing to give up a little bit of money to let somebody else manage that. But
you can find someone that can do 70% of what you.
But I think we've been going a long time.
Now,
We need to wrap it up.
I'm going to hit
So,
it real quick.
Andrew, I want to give you a last final word. And
Hold on. I got a couple questions.
Blake always has a couple
questions. Yeah.
Well, I
Give
don't.
me questions. I'll cut me on.
I just met the guy tonight, literally 3 hours ago. Okay, I know what made you leave. The Army making you feel like they don't give a shit about you. Completely understand. I can't completely understand, but I understand why you made the leap.
Yeah.
So my question is, would you have made the leap if that never happened, do you think? Do you think it was a blessing in disguise?
Absolutely.
You think it was a blessing in disguise?
100%. I see one thing that upsets me is that and all the boys, like I talked to some people that I was in the Army with 4, 5, 6 years ago, more than I talked to that I was in the Army 2 years ago with. And we all feel the same way. It's the boys. I'm upset I can't take care of those guys in the military or whatever. Like, there's no decision I can make that would make their lives better or worse. No matter how much rank I had, no matter like status, doesn't matter. Now, stepping out of the military, my decisions are key and pivotal to people's livelihoods, and I take that very seriously. And to me, I'm like I told Kyle earlier, I'm not worried about paying my bills. I'll figure it out. And we struggle, yes, like anyone else, but like in my mind, if I can build a strong team and support the people around us and make them thrive, eventually our bank account will look better. And that's what I try to tell Amanda, my wife. And at the end of the day, if I work hard to support the people around me, maybe we'll get better. And if we don't, I can sleep good at night.
Yeah.
I'm not, if I have to go to McDonald's at work, I'll do it. It doesn't matter. We'll figure it out.
I got you. Then my second question is, how many Airbnbs, rentals, properties do you currently have? If you don't mind sharing, you don't have to. 6, 8, 4, 1.5.
102.
Just kidding. But
That's a rough guess. Then have to be exact.
I have 2 Airbnbs. 2 and 3 midterm rentals. And I'm talking doors, not properties.
Yeah,
What
doors.
do you want to do?
No
Property.
doors, just doors.
So that's 5. Then 4 long terms.
9. Yeah, 9. Okay. And how many of those were acquired in the last year and a half? Rough guess. Doesn't have to be exact. Half, 1, 3,
Yeah.
6 of them?
Yeah. So basically last year I made a goal and I still have it. It's in the truck. I have a piece of paper printed out. I had houses drawn. Piece of paper with Premier Property on it. And this is Premier Property Renovations. This is our remodeling business because no one would adhere to the standard we chose. And we had to start taking over these jobs because no one else is there for us. And that's why I had to start hiring people. But before this, it was Premier Property Solutions. And when I started the LLC, I wanted to put all the properties in it. And I started and I wrote all these houses, 5 houses. My goal last was to buy 5. We bought 7. Now some of those are flip houses, everything else, but every time check. And I think sometimes none of us know what we're capable of until you're put in the fire. Iron is forged in fire. And you need to shoot for the stars. Shoot for them. Full speed ahead. And at worst case, you land. Yeah.
Cardo.
You had Grant Cardone 10X on your bookshelf out there. Have you read it?
Yes, he has.
And what does he say?
You want $1 million, get 10 million.
Whatever your goal is, 10X it.
You 10X it.
I listened to his book.
And then in worst case scenario, you hit 6 or 7 and you blow it.
You hit your goal. Someone else told me today their goal was to retire by 55. I said,
10X it. Retire.
10X it. 550.
I said, I told him. I didn't 10X it. I told him. I said, why not retire at 40? And it blew his mind. I was like, if your goal is to retire at 40 and you retire at 45, you still beat 55. You got 10 years back in your lives.
I agree. I want to talk to you after this. All right, let's wrap this up though. Okay. We've been going a while. Anything you want to say, Blake?
No, I love all your friends. They're great.
Did you give your plug? Yeah. Where can people find you? Who are you?
Okay.
Where do you find Andrew?
I don't even know. So spill it.
Probably messed that up.
I can't even follow you yet, bro.
You should follow me. I'll probably figure it out. Earth on Facebook or Instagram, or Pudsworth, I think, on Instagram.
Spell it. And then spell it.
How you spell that? A dog? A Pudsworth? I think that's a dog.
WORTH.
There you go.
And as far as for the business, it's Premier_property_renovations on Instagram or Facebook.
Hey, how about your
great work?
How about your underscore? And
Amazing work. Amazing work.
So
give me your cell phone number in case we need a renovation.
Whoa.
931-980.
Giving that out to
29
world, baby. Oh my God. You got to start an OnlyFans.
Hey, if you call that number, it's going to cost you.
Oh my gosh.
9.
You just gave your number out to the world.
931-980-2945.
We're about to blow up, right? Joe Rogan's coming on next week.
I'm pretty much going to get a bunch of pictures for my buddies.
I can't believe
I gotta stop with it.
It'll be all right.
That's so funny.
All right.
Oh my gosh.
Godwin Blake, for this day.
Hey, everybody I know is open to sending him whatever you want.
Can we please stop this?
It'd be hilarious.
Right now.
Yeah, right now.